Oh, hey, it's fixed.
It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5,
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Hey, what you doing, man?
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, guy next door.
Me, DK.
And me, Than, and oh my god, you can see our faces, and this is fucking terrible.
This
Oh
is
my
terrible.
god, this is the worst thing ever. Whose
Look,
idea
we do
was
this?
this, Evo?
Look, we're here to bring you your hopefully regular, semi-regular double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force. Welcome to the future, boys. The future where people can see our faces and mock us in real time. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, you're in New Zealand, so it really is the future relative to me. So
Yeah, that's right.
I'm all for getting this vision into the future.
Yeah. Well, so it's kind of been a long time coming. I remember. Well, actually, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Firstly, how we doing? It's aside from the 2 weeks of testing, it's been a while.
I guess it has. It doesn't feel like it, but
I
Yeah,
mean,
because I've been seeing your ugly faces like almost every other day as we've been doing testing.
Yeah.
So,
we've probably seen each other more in the last 2 weeks than we have in the last 4 years, maybe. That's the numbers I want to use.
yeah, minus the
Yeah, okay.
week that we spend together at Nats.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Don't worry about that one.
Ugh.
welcome,
R.I.P. Nats.
welcome to the new format, people. Hopefully we're just as entertaining as we normally are.
We are not that entertaining. Let's be very, very clear. I don't think any of us actually think that we're that entertaining. But if we can provide a couple of laughs for you, you'll probably at us, then cool. That's
Yeah.
fine.
We're probably at us. Who are you,
As long as you
teenage
can
dad?
laugh at yourself, you're always laughing.
Yeah, exactly right.
Why not?
I mean, that's accurate. That's very accurate.
So, how do we sound? Like, I know we did a couple tests during the week. Always in the back of my mind, because whenever I set something up, with the help of other people, of course, but if I'm sort of semi in charge, then things generally don't go that smoothly. So hopefully we don't fuck it up too much. There's gonna be like a couple of glitches here and there. I know, just bear with us. We'll try and keep it relatively good looking. Obviously not our cameras.
No, not even a little bit. I don't think any of us get to make that claim in any way, shape, or form.
What days did you rent the van for again, Steve?
That's a different podcast. We're doing that on a different stream. But yeah, so I guess, like, I don't know about you guys, but I've been kind of like nervous about the new format, mostly because, you know, in the past, I think I've said it before, but in the past I've had the ability to go through with a hatchet and like semi-edit our mistakes. So doing it live is, you know, it's a real test. It's a test to see how much I can like think on the fly of funny shit to say, / react to the terrible things that Than says about both of us.
That's accurate.
But look, we have some stuff to talk about, which is surprising because not a whole lot is happening. Al says, DK, you need more beard. I mean, he's only got slightly less than I do. Look at that terribleness.
All right, give me 3 years and I'll get right on it.
You'll be up to me.
Yeah.
All right, well, look, I guess the place I kind of want to start with, and the place that kind of makes the most sense, is why we're here in this kind of format. So to give people who are new to the show, which I'd imagine is anyone not watching, people that aren't watching the stream, we've had a few iterations now of the show. Morange has some spare beard for you. We've had a few iterations of the show now. We've been going since 2017. And that was, I guess, version 1, which was me and Than. We basically started with a build-up pod to Sacramento Internationals, which was really cool. Like, it was I think at the time we just like, look, we talk about this shit anyway. I'm sure other people might be interested in hanging out and like listening to it as well. So that was version 1.
Yeah, and it was funny, like tens of people listened, which was honestly
More than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was way more than it's like okay, we have this very niche thing, and there are tens of people listening, and people seem to be enjoying it. So okay, cool.
Well, we like, I don't know if it's the same at most sites. I assume that it is, but we spend, like, once we finish members night on a Tuesday, we spend another
Hang on. You're implying that people watching the stream actually have sites to play at.
Yeah, true. Only 1/3 of the podcast here actually does. But I mean, you know, in your time as regular Laser Force players, you know, we would spend another 45 minutes at least yarning outside of Lasers once they closed the doors on us after members night. So it kind of is like an extension of that. That's the way that I like to look at this podcast. But yeah, so we did that. That was 2017, and then that worked for a while until Than decided to become a rock star and decided he was too cool to do the podcast with me anymore. So DK came in and filled his shoes.
Really, that's the line you're going with.
What,
Okay.
rock star?
Yes, that's totally overstating the case by an order of magnitude at this point.
Yeah, we're finding a little revisionist history here. It's fine.
Yeah. You got real famous, man. Don't sell yourself short. But yeah, so DK came in. That was March last year, at least according to my records, which may be wrong.
It feels like fucking 10 years ago.
It does.
At this point.
Yeah.
Everything before 2020 is all just kind of a weird blur.
Fucked.
They were the good old days.
Yeah, that was before Thanos snapped his fingers. So, you know.
Yeah, so we did that, and then I at some point I forgot to actually check when it was, but Than became a washed up rock star and decided that he wanted back in, so he shoehorned his way back onto the podcast.
Now, see, the way I remember it was he was jealous of the accolades that your new co-host was getting and how much better everybody said the podcast was running.
Yeah,
And he said,
Totally.
I have
Yeah,
to get
no,
back on
for
that
sure.
hype train.
there was more
Yeah,
hair. Just
Well, that's definitely true.
Everywhere but the face.
And so that was version 3, the three of us doing the pod, and then so I guess we've kind of been on a hiatus this year. Russ says make funny faces. That's just our normal faces, Russ. Yeah, and so after a long hiatus, we figured, look, we're ready to do something, but let's evolve. So the lockdown meant that, you know, everyone went out and rushed out, bought a webcam. So we figured, why don't we do the same thing? We'll jump on the bandwagon and start live streaming like every other person. So here we are. That's kind of the history of us in a nutshell. So if you're new here, which you probably aren't, that gives you a bit of backstory about us.
To be fair, I already had my webcam, so I didn't have to.
Mine's built in. You know what? At some point, I got to figure out how to like cleanly rotate the image, because seeing all my shit in the background backwards really bugs me. But not as much as me being reversed does. So, you know, we gotta have to figure something out there.
Yeah, I love my shirt that says Susan.
Oh, no, it's right on our screen.
I know it is. It's just backwards for me.
Yeah, so I mean, Than, I think it was like back when we first started, when we were thinking about doing the podcast, I think you had said, do we want to do this with video? And at the time, I think I was like, nah, bro, like nobody wants to see our faces. Like, who wants to do that? Cut to 3 years later, boom, our faces are on the internet. So,
Yeah, and again, I'm still very skeptical that anybody actually wants to see our faces. But I mean, there seemed to be a not zero number of people here watching, which thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for, you know, if you're in the US, thanks for spending your Friday night with us. If you're, you know, not in the US, thanks for spending your Saturday morning / afternoon with us. I mean, that's really cool.
Clearly, the lockdown is working in our favor.
Yes,
Exactly. Because I want you guys to know that this is a real breakthrough, because when all of the schools went online, I refused to do live Zoom sessions and show my face and, you know, my crappy wardrobe to all my students and the background of my apartment. I said, no, I'm not doing that. But
2
for you
a.m.
guys and for the hashtag community, I'll go ahead and, you know, pull the curtain back.
How many? Make sure you're wearing pants when you pull that curtain back.
Yeah, so that could be our first story of the night.
Go, let him in.
or morning. So we're testing stuff for the Resupply stream and all kinds of things, and getting ready for our upcoming D&D campaign. And I just wanted to hop online, do a little work last night. So I get onto the Roll20 site, start working on things, and I hear something weird in the background. It's like, what is that? And I shift over to the windows, and all of a sudden I see Steve's face because he's in chat because he's working on his character in Roll20, and his camera's on. And at this point, I'm having a slight moment of panic because I had just gotten out of the shower and I was butt ass naked in front of my computer, making sure my webcam was not on, which fortunately it was not. So
I mean,
we got the story of how I almost accidentally sent nudes to Steve, which I mean wouldn't be the first time that somebody's sent him an erotic message meant for someone else. But you know.
That is a 100% accurate statement.
And I know that he's listening too because I messaged him just before the podcast. I mean, you know, it would have added another dimension to our relationship. I would refer to you as my DM in a completely new light.
It's one small step for the resupply.
Yeah.
Emphasis on small.
Proper stealth. Well, look, so that's probably a good jumping off point. We talked about kind of where we see the channel going, because as much as I do love talking about Space Marines, Laser Force, etc., with things being on hiatus at the moment, there's not a lot of stuff to talk about that's not upcoming, or that's not like retrospective. So it makes it hard to like think of stuff to talk about that's not just, oh yeah, I remember that one time that this cool thing happened at a tournament. So
we'll have some of that too.
Yeah, well, there'll definitely be that.
Yeah, that's going to be a thing.
But we wanted to do some other stuff as well that might, you know, kind of that might be interesting to people that would otherwise watch this channel. And so we do have some stuff in the works for added content, the value-added services from the Resupply. One of which is starting tomorrow, because, you know, why not? We are starting a D&D campaign, if you will. Now, I've never played D&D before, ever. And a couple of the other guys haven't either. I mean, Al said he has, but not for 30 years or something.
Because Al is older than I am, you know.
You know, we do have we got one experienced campaigner, and then obviously our Dungeon Master Fireball DK will be heading up our campaign. So hopefully with his 30 years of fuck you Thad. Hopefully with
Iron that.
DK's help, it'll be interesting to watch, but also interesting to play. You can see us like fumble our way through everything. Yeah.
Well, if what Russ says is accurate, I'll be laughing at you the entire time.
Well, as you torment.
Just move from frying pan to fire. So it will be entertaining for me, if nobody else.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, if the campaign lasts 2 sessions, then it was definitely worth it. But that'll be cool. That's something we're working on. I'm working on doing some stuff around gaming, because what use is a Twitch channel if you don't stream at least one video game? But it'll probably be more arcade centric, because I built myself an arcade machine which is sitting over there, and you know, if doing a 2 sessions together.
I didn't see it.
You can't see it. I don't have a swivel for this thing.
Oh.
Yeah. But you will see it once I get that up and running. So that'll be kind of cool. Than's got nothing coming up because, you know, he's lazy.
That's not entirely accurate. but
Ooh, call the bird unit.
Probably more accurate than I care to admit.
No, he's got cooler things to do than hang out with us on the internet. Actually,
Not at the moment.
not at the moment. I'm
Well,
sure.
do you have stuff to do or not? You have make up your mind, man.
Look, if you don't want to hang out with us, just tell us. All right.
If you're not streaming, are you even living? Come on.
Yeah, the rest of the world aren't watching you do the dishes. Does it even count? Yeah, so we'll do some stuff around other nerdy shit that, like, I'm sure most of you like the same as us.
Okay, I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
Definitely, we're gonna dial up the nerd to 10,000% on the channel.
All the crap that I have behind me, like, clearly puts me in the geeky camp. Yeah, so there'll be some of that stuff. We do have some one-off events. I hear that there's a game show in the works.
Ooh, a game show.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There might be some interactive come watch movies with the Resupply. So just some stuff that might be fun to do as a community, because I know, there's a lot of people kind of going through some hardship at the moment, and whilst we acknowledge that our importance is way down the list, sometimes people dig having something to distract them, or something to take them away from the harshnesses of reality. So hopefully we can help some people get through some shitty times. So that'll be fun.
Yes, members of the Resupply included in that number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is an accurate statement. One of the things with this, with all the lockdown and everything, and the working from home for me, like, so most of you know that I'm not exactly a people person. I know everybody's shocked to hear me, like, acknowledge that, but I'm not exactly a people person. I'm not always the most approachable person at tournaments and this, that, and the other. Just like the older I get, the less time I have for certain things. However, this working from home and kind of forced no interaction whatsoever, it definitely was doing a number on my head.
It's weird.
And so doing stuff like this is surprisingly helpful for my mental state.
A sanity saver.
It's definitely a sanity saver.
Even though, like, we rag on you like constantly.
Well,
yes.
what is hanging out with your mates if not that?
Yeah.
I mean, if your friends aren't roasting the shit out of you, are they really your friends?
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't trust
when it gets down
I
to.
wouldn't trust them.
Well, you're getting some shit in the chat as well, but that's okay.
Oh, I see it. I'm just fucking ignoring it because fuck you, Morange. Just fuck you.
Morange.
Yeah,
More orange.
whatever.
You're right though. Like, it's so I would say that I'm probably at the other end of the spectrum in terms of being social, and the lockdown was difficult as well for me. So I'm glad that New Zealand seemingly is on the other end of the lockdown. We're a little bit ahead of the world, which is kind of nice.
No, fuck that. You're a lot ahead of the rest of the world right now. So fuck you.
Like,
You're playing Space Marines. I'll just go ahead and we'll leave it there.
Granted, it was.
That's all you really have to say.
It was, we've been playing a lot of. Our first week back. We played some really good games. We had enough for 3 teams during the evening. That was awesome. And then the last couple of weeks we've dropped back down to about 8 or 9. So, it makes playing space.
What are you guys doing?
Oh, I know, right? Come on, Auckland, get your shit together.
Oil assholes.
But yeah, I think if we can help bring the community together a little bit during these dark times, that's the very least that we can do. But yeah, So, is there anything else you guys kind of want to mention before we move on to the other reason that we're here?
I think our guest might get bored if we don't bring him in here pretty soon.
I think,
so
yeah, I think
I need to do that.
I've been kind of watching him as we've been bullshitting, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so bored. You guys just bring me on so I can get finished with the night."
I think he fell asleep at one point. All right, so we do have a guest today. We do, Wolfman. We have a guest. Because
somebody absolutely essential to getting this channel up and running.
Yes, and hopefully I don't fuck up like bringing him in by like doing the wrong transition. So we'll see how we go.
It's only one way to find out.
But yeah, he has been very instrumental in helping us get this iteration of the Resupply off the ground. You can see there's some like pretty graphics up in that corner over there, and some in the background, and the intro videos and all the transition artwork. Plus he has very much put his flavor into the Gen 8 version of Laser Force. So I'm gonna see if I can do this as a real smooth transition. I'd like to welcome to the podcast.
Drum roll.
Didn't work. Hang on, one more time.
This is a professional production, ladies and gentlemen.
Hang on, I gotta unmute him.
It worked.
Boom. Okay, he's unmuted.
Yay!
Welcome to the podcast, Beautiful, aka
What's
Marco
going on?
from Loveland. How are you, man? Welcome.
I was like, it's super weird to be involved on this podcast because I'm probably like top 10 list of people who are so uninvolved with tournaments. right behind Fan, I'm probably pretty uninvolved with the whole Laser Force tournament scene.
But do you ever want to see? You ever want to see an internet drive-by that just happened?
Yeah. Well, I don't have the excuse that I'm getting bras thrown on stage because I'm in a band. But
Well, you just wait.
To be fair, that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
When it does, I will make sure I let people know.
Wait till after this podcast, man. Like, this will get you famous as shit. Probably not. So, yeah, thanks for coming on, man. And like, massive thank you for like all the work that you've done, for us. Double time for Than.
True.
But yeah,
what's Than got going on?
Yeah, he does some other stuff outside of the podcast. Yeah.
It's probably boring.
Yeah,
Stuff.
don't worry about that. It's not that interesting.
It's not. It's really not.
No one throws bras at the drummer though.
Sadly accurate. That is sadly accurate.
You get like a drumstick thrown at you, but like from a chicken. So obviously, you're a graphic artist by trade. You do that as your
Some
full
days,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some days depends on the day, but
So how did you get into? Well, we'll start at the beginning. How did you come across Laser Force?
oh, this is the way beginning. Okay.
Yeah, we're going back.
So,
All the way.
All the way back.
all right. So I was in university about 30 minutes away from the Loveland location.
Yeah.
And then while I was studying there to do graphic design, I got a job. Unfortunately, I got a job at the Laser Tech Center in Loveland.
Unfortunately.
And it really was just like a job. Yeah. Here I am now. Well, it was really just like a job to get me by, university. Like I'd make money and then I could kind of study on the side and then do that little game on the side.
Yeah.
But it really took off into something that like has been like unbelievably cool from where I expected things to go. When I was like in university, I really expected me to land like I really wanted to get into app development and like kind of that side of like visual design. And so I always thought of myself going to a big like media firm and marketing firm. and like being being involved there. But once I got involved at the Laser Tech Center, I played my first game of Space Marines. No, I'm just kidding. But
They're like, you sir, you should be our commander.
Yeah,
That's for nerds.
Well, I mean, the owner Jeff, which all the Loveland players know, he was kind of like, "Oh, you're going to school for visual design. You should help me out with my like graphics here at my site." And I was like, "Oh yeah, dope. Like that's what I want to do. I want to work as a graphic designer. So yeah, I'll do that." Which evolved into like where I'm at now, to where I'm like now I'm self-employed and doing my thing, and I've been working for Laser Force for like the last 5 years, and that really started as just like, Laser Force is paying out some big media firm in Australia to do a lot of the graphics and marketing material. Jeff was like, "Dude, you're good. Like, you need to help Laser Force. Like, here's your first project for Laser Force." And then from there on, like, it took off to like what you guys see now in Gen 8, which I was really involved in too, as far as launching that product. And it's been fun. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I played Space Marines too a little bit.
like just a little bit on the side. Don't admit that on here.
Yeah.
So tell the people what from Gen 8 are you put your personal stamp on that you're responsible for, the product that they know and love.
Okay. I mean, you guys, my favorite project from Gen 8 is 100% the avatars, which I think everyone has like their favorite avatar already. Like everyone kind of picked out like which one that's like, theirs that they play with. And so I like hand illustrated every single avatar.
What's your favorite
I think
one?
when we were all right, so little Easter egg. There's 2 avatars in there. Orion and Scout. Those are both my dogs that I currently have. And so Orion's like this little space doggy, and then Scout, he's kind of this other like tan looking dog. Those are both my dogs, so it's super cool. I see people playing with those.
That's right.
Those are my dogs. It's a little Easter egg that I threw in there because, like, I think every designer does that.
Yeah,
throws a little bit of themselves in there, a little bit.
What kind of
I don't have a
reflection,
favorite,
right?
though.
You don't have a favorite?
So here's the thing. Everyone loves the Toast Wonder avatar. Everyone loves that. For some reason, that like went off that hitch. Like everyone just like fell in love with it. Seems like everyone plays with that stupid Toast avatar. And before we launched Gen 8, Jeff, who is also the CEO of Laser Force, was like, "Hey, we need like," as before we launched this, and we were launching in like November. It was like September. So he's like, "We need 100." I think I had like 20 or 30 by then, but I was like really under the gun for like just punching out avatars.
He's like, "Here's 20 Red Bulls. Have at it."
Yeah. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I was like just slamming out avatars, and I was so tired. And I had a peanut butter jelly sandwich next to me as I was just like grinding through the night. And I was like, "Screw it! All right, we're gonna do toast with like some jelly on it." I was like, "No one's gonna use it. Like, just pad the numbers. Like, just pad the avatars." And then lo and behold, there's like 30 other cooler avatars, but everyone uses toast. So
you're like, "Fuck this toast."
There's that.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so
I heard that's how Einstein came up with the theory of relativity too.
he was super tired and
working on Gen 8, just grinding through the night.
So I don't know if you can see on the stream, but I'm quite partial to the toast avatar myself. It's moments of genius, right? This is pretty much what that is. It's really cool that someone like Jeff would look at somebody internal or someone that was coming up and be like, "Hey, I really dig your work. Like, you need to do this for our corporation."
Yeah.
Because that's really what.
Yeah. Well, Jeff is really good at. Jeff's really good at like identifying like potential in people. Like he's really good at finding like what someone's good at and then like plugging them in at the right spot. So he's like really good at like finding the like he obviously owns like a lot of escape rooms and he does a lot of entertainment and he's in the entertainment business like. But that's what he's good at. He's good at finding potential and just plugging them in.
And that's probably
whether I like it or not, I'm here.
That's probably partially the reason why Loveland's growth in the last couple of years has been so big, and why their player base has as big as it is. I'm assuming. I can't remember if that many people still play. Well, certainly not at the moment. But yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm glad that he sort of reached out and gave you some props.
I think I really landed in a spot where I was, I had expectations to go one way with my career, but now where I'm at now, it's like totally unexpected, but like perfect for what I want to do.
It's pretty amazing how often like you think, yes, this thing over here, like that's where I'm gonna go to, and then something random happens, and suddenly you're like a million miles away from where you thought you were gonna be, and you're like, no, this is actually way, way fucking cooler than anything I thought I was going to be doing. So,
Yeah.
and it's amazing how often, like within the community, because Laser Force is such a big part of so many of our lives, it's interesting how often Laser Force in some way, shape, or form impacts where you've ended up and what you're doing. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, so I think for a lot of people that have been playing for a while, like, and we've talked about this on previous shows, but like, I know for me, like, Laser Force has touched almost all major things that have happened in my life. Probably the only thing it hasn't is my wife. She's like, fuck no.
Yes. It's coming.
She's like, nah, bro, like you go play your laser games and I'll stay here and be cool.
To be fair, your wife is way cooler than you are.
Way cooler than me. But yeah, like
our wives are.
Yeah. I think it's
the facts.
It kind of works that way for a lot of people, though, right? Like, then you met your wife through this game, right? Like in a roundabout kind of way.
In a super roundabout way, yes. Yeah. If I had not been playing Leisure Force, I would not have met my wife. The full story of which is, not going to go onto this channel, but
But don't go to tournaments expecting that your wife's going to be around the corner either. Like, don't go there.
No, please do not do that.
No, not even a little.
It's called the Laser Force Grinder. Yeah. So I mean, but I assume that by working at Laser Force, you kind of your part of your role there is to play the games, right? So is that kind of how you got into playing Space Marines? Like, were you working like members nights and stuff, or?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think anybody who works at a Laser Force center dabbles into this weird niche of a group we are. But yeah, I think so I love video games and I love everything competitive. And so when I first played Space Marines, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get addicted to this really quick. Because it was like, it needed teamwork. It was fun. It was active. It was energetic. So it was really like definitely something that I could get into really quickly. And so that's when I started first playing at the Loveland site. And let me tell you, it was the Space Marines we were playing at Loveland at the time I was playing like really hard. Was pre Loveland getting inducted into your guys' like cycle.
And that was what, like a good 5 years ago now? Or longer?
Yeah,
2015 was
Loveland.
So like the Space Marines game we were playing was like super black market Space Marines. I mean, there was like if you look at the rule book compared to what we were playing, like it was rough, it was tough, like no one was showing shoulder. It was like if you could get a shot off in any direction you could, like if you could follow someone or even tackle them to the ground, totally legal. Like it was a rough game. And I remember I played the first tournament like we had, Utah came out and played with us, and it was like they came out, this was like a quick short trip for them, relatively short. And so they came out and they're like literally threw the rule book out You can't do half of the stuff you're doing. Like we went in there, like we played our stuff, and we got like, we probably got every penalty in the book, and we were like, what is this game? Like we literally had to read. We had just been playing so crappy. And which was good is like it weeded out half of like player base. It weeded out everyone who was like toxic and like didn't know how to play, and then everyone who was like really interested in playing and continue playing, like learned the rules and continue playing, which I think is like who you have now at the Loveland Center.
It's good that it happens that way, because like I've seen a site, or that was competitive, basically disappear from our competitive scene when the rulebook gets thrown at them. And it's really sad to see, because you see, a lot of guys that have that same competitive drive to play, and they want to play some format of it, just not this format of it. And yeah, it is a shame to see those sites disappear, but at the same time, like I love the rulebook.
I'm so happy it happened.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Utah players are my favorite players to this day. Still, I mean, there's some really cool down to earth guys there. And
Shout out
were,
Thunder.
Like, patient with us, and Thunder was great, and they taught us everything, and like I said, I'm always rooting for them in tournament to this day, because they kind of beat our asses that week in every way possible. And so I'm always rooting for them to do that.
So
yet they probably did it with a smile on their face the whole time, because there's not really a vengeful or mean bone in Thunder's entire body.
Oh, jeez.
But they are competitive. Though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't mistake that kind is for a lack of competitiveness.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm just saying, like he always, and actually most of the Utah players that are like this. Like it feels like they're just kind of gliding through the maze, and they're not necessarily like taking it super serious. And then you realize that they just fucking wrecked you, and you're like, what the fuck just happened here?
The wall that is Thunder just happened to you. Yeah, we kind of had a similar, like Auckland as a site had a similar introduction to Space Marines that you guys did. We had Wellington, Rusty, when he was still living in New Zealand, brought a crew up to Auckland and basically were like, you guys are doing it wrong, here's how you play Space Marines. So that's from what I remember. That was even before my time, and I've been around for fucking ages. But yeah, cool. So going back to sort of the artwork side of things, like, have you got a particular project that's like a favorite of yours that you kind of, aside from the resupply?
Yeah, the resupply was fun. Yeah. I mean, to touch on that, the resupply was the first Twitch channel graphics I've ever done. So if you guys are getting into gaming, streaming, whatever you want around Twitch graphics, come hit me up.
Plug.
I know what I'm doing now. So, and that's like one thing I've always wanted. Streaming gamer, I've always wanted who's like, really settled into streaming, and they need their sweet graphics.
Dude.
But as far as Laser Force goes, Avatar is definitely my favorite project. I'm trying to think what else is going on. I feel like there's a lot of things I can't talk about just because of like NDA issues and like things that are like upcoming that I'm really excited about that I also can't.
This like, actually, I'm not even gonna ask that. I don't want to get in trouble.
Police are coming through the door right now.
Yeah.
Down the path of
blowing up.
a NDA. That sounds like a terrible idea.
We shut down after one episode.
I don't know.
I just want to see like static pop up.
Yeah.
On my screen,
Bro, you there still? What happened?
Oh, they were watching.
Yeah. I do see Laser Force Brisbane in the chat, so they were like, hey, make sure you don't say the things you're not supposed to talk about.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things I can't talk about, and there's like little things like I can talk about, but there's, I mean, to give you a sneak peek, like I just finished some achievement icons this week for a new game that's coming out.
Oh, that's cool.
To be honest, I don't know much about it, and it's funny because when the email came across my desk, the developers didn't know much about it either. They're like, "We have this game, and we don't know what it's called." Yeah, they were like, "We had this game, we don't know what it's called, but we know that like when this mechanic happens, this mechanic happens. So like, just make the 4 achievement icons that says like when X happens, Y happens." I mean, I think they know what it's gonna be, but from the email they sent me, they're kind of like, we're figuring it out.
That sounds about right.
Oh, you guys are killing me. This is just making me want to play so bad.
But honestly, aside from Space Marines, I think Color Conquest is one of my favorite games out there, and that was a lot of fun to like develop graphics. I don't know if you guys had a chance to play that yet. It's been
I love Color Conquest. It's a great game.
It works well if you've got a lot of people in the arena. If it's just, if you have 20 people, that game is dope.
Oh, for sure. It's so fast paced and it's dynamic.
I still haven't played it.
It's cool. It's a cool party game.
Just kidding.
Too busy being famous. So
not having a site.
So Laser Force Brisbane.
Self-burn.
Laser Force Brisbane have asked, the very pertinent question. If people want to get in touch for some of your excellent work, what's the best way to do that?
Anywhere really. Facebook, if you are for friends, just send me a message. I'll give you my email. We can talk from there. If not, I'll put my email in the chat and you guys can email me and we can talk about stuff.
If you haven't already done so, jump onto the Discord group, because I think you're clearly part of that group as well. But that's probably a relatively easy way to do it. Plus, self-promotion.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, 2 out of the 4 people here I've done work for, so.
Yeah, come on, DK. What the shit?
Totally normal. I think DK's still starting his band. I don't know.
He's like, so we're starting this D&D stream.
I'll figure something out, Mark. I'll find a way to toss you money.
Marco, what's your website address? Because I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's macincreative.com. I'll put it in the chat.
Nice. DK needs D&D tokens.
It's on VOD or YouTube. We'll make sure we put that in the video description, right?
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely do that because I know how to.
Yep. The people demand more doggos on a stream too.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
Like a little bit on the side.
Well, down the bottom corner.
Yeah, we need the inspiration behind the avatars to make the appearance.
I got a doggo.
So
I got a couple doggos.
So you haven't played in a international tournament as of yet, is that correct?
2015 was my only international tournament.
Oh yeah, okay. So you played that
preview. We don't talk about that one though, right? We don't talk about 2015.
We talk about that one more than we talk about
the other one.
Did or didn't happen.
Yeah. There was.
We talk about. We talk about certain parts of 2015.
I feel like there's some suppressed memories, and then there's memories that we like to think about, but then there's a lot of memories we just kind of put under the. One of those memories, like a lot of those memories for me, was I didn't play with the team. For whatever reason, I don't remember why. It's either I didn't have the time to just commit to one of the A or B teams. I think didn't they bring like 6 teams to that tournament or something stupid? They brought like so many teams that
Loveland did.
Lost, I think. Yeah, Loveland.
Wow.
No, Loveland had 2 teams. We had 10 total though, so it was a pretty packed tournament.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was like Loveland A, D, whatever. But I didn't have like the time to commit to like one of those teams, and they wanted me to, but I ended up playing as a merc, and we played on Armageddon. I played on the Armageddon team.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
I think we lost every single game. That was a tough tournament. I think we lost every single one.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I suppose this.
What's his name?
RNT.
Yes,
yeah.
RNT.
Shout out my
God
boy.
bless his soul. Like he was Oh my god! Like we come out of every match just absolutely obliterated, and he'd just be like, "All right, we got this. Like, here's what we're gonna change for next match." Like, it's so like, I was like, "Dude, we just got obliterated like for a fifth time." Like, I don't know. He was like,
he's the
he was
happiest
so
pirate
patient with
ever.
us. Oh my god! Like, I love him because he's like, yeah, like I said, he was so patient with us, and that's like the best thing I remember from that tournament.
RNT is one of the genuinely nicest people that I
So
know
nice.
within the entirety of the laser tag community.
Mm.
You know, not just in the force community, but like out to the wider tag community. Like he is an absolutely just fantastic stand-up guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's always like super positive about stuff, even when he's getting wrecked.
Sick of the thunder.
Yeah.
That thunder is
On
force
that
orientated.
topic, why hasn't the Loveland like cycle come up yet? Like, why hasn't Heather been in that tournament? I feel like Loveland's arena is like so underrated compared to the other arenas.
From the images I've seen, it looks
there
cool.
was the West Coast tournament. When was that? Was that just last year? Was that 2019 or was it the year before? I can't remember. They did host a West Coast. I think was the most recent one they did.
Mm. Well,
Well, that's what
I can't remember.
It's
If
like
it was 18 or
West
19
Coast,
though.
East Coast.
I guess like so the last 5 years, it's kind of bounced back and forth between the US and Australasia, and for various reasons, every time it bounces back down here, it goes to Brisbane. We obviously were set to host a month from today, I think.
Can we not talk about that?
Yeah. Shit happens. Which will push, that'll push the schedule for next year back. Because I think we're gonna, make sure that the tournament comes back down here. Yeah, F in chat for Nationals 2020. But yeah, I would be very much keen to play. We were talking about. I know there was rumors of St. George wanting to host after we do, and if what you're saying is St. George is relatively close to Loveland, I'd be keen to make the trip.
Close is relative. Relative is relative.
45
Relative
minutes.
to the other sites. It's still it's a good drive. It's like an hour flight.
So what did that make it like 4-hour drive or something?
I think it's close to 5 or 6. So you got to drive to the fucking mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say this now. We were in Vegas after Nationals last year, and we were supposed to go to St. George on a day trip, and it just didn't work out, which as I look back on it really depresses me, because I would have loved to have done that. But you learn not to be selfish.
And Steve, so St. George to Loveland, according to Google Maps, and we know Google is never wrong, depending upon which route you go, is either 677 miles or 750 miles.
Okay.
Which in kilometers, for those of you who
It's like
can't
1,000
think in both, it's well over 1,000 k's.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It'd be like driving the length of our country.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Stuff being close in the States is always pretty relative.
Yeah.
Unless you live on like the East Coast where everything is just built directly on top of each other.
But yeah, so I'd love to come and play in your guys' yard. Assuming I can get some couch space. You know what I mean? But yeah.
If there is any place I'd be willing to get into a metal tube and risk getting the coronavirus for, it would be to go play some Meister Tag in Loveland. So
Yeah.
you can hang your hat on that.
Look, if you're gonna do it, you might as well come down here, right?
Yeah, if you would let me into the goddamn country.
No, you stay out there.
I mean, the thing is like Loveland is the flagship site for Laser Force US. So like the Laser Force office is in Loveland, obviously, and so that arena gets so much love. Like, if there's any new products that come out, it gets tested in that arena. We have every single target in that arena. Like it's just like overloaded laser force in that arena. Like, obviously, it's a flagship set.
Wait.
And then they just did renovations to it, so blacklight artwork too. And so it's a good looking arena. And you guys have played in it. They just rearranged the bottom floor, so the bottom like floor walls are all different now. Yeah, I would be really happy to see a tournament come back to Loveland just because I get to see all you guys again.
Yeah.
Oh, let's make it happen.
Well,
I'm getting my biohazard suit on. I'll be there in 2 days.
every time we watch the Laser Force introduction video, that's when we get to see the Loveland Arena. Yeah, gotta love that video.
Do you guys? So the Gen 8 video, the briefing video, I'm sure you guys have seen that one.
The
What's
trailer
funny
one.
about that one?
Yeah, I've seen it.
There's a
It's pretty
trailer, but then
terrible.
there's a briefing video.
That was shot?
You guys have seen it,
That was shot at your site, right?
right?
Yeah.
And that one we went like a totally different route with. Like we wanted it to be funny, we wanted quirky, and like you guys have seen it.
Yeah.
I know you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Jeff showed that to me, I was like, "Are you serious? Like we're launching Gen 8 with this? Like it's super like comical and like super like playful." And I was like, "What? This is Gen 8. Like this is the best equipment on the world. Like we should make it feel that way."
And he
I
was
mean,
like, "Yeah, well, you gave us toast."
I was just gonna say that.
He was like, "Where's my other 40 avatars?" I don't need your comments. But fast forward to now, I think it works really well because I think as far as like the briefing video in the laser tag like market, like it needs to be more like it works because every briefing video out there is pretty monotonous and like pretty like I'm gonna sleep through this. But like if you can grab their attention, especially players who are new or like adults who are new, you can grab their attention.
Yeah.
Teach them the game while they're laughing at it,
Yeah.
It's super effective. But funny caveat with that video, it never says that you have to have two hands on the phaser to shoot, even though you do. So it was like one of those things that we like oopsed on, that we like after we published it and like went live with it. Like 2 years later, we're like, oh, we never two hands on the phaser to actually.
You see all the kids pop.
How do I do it? My gun's broken.
Yeah, I mean that's what sucks because like operators spend hundreds of $1,000s on the equipment. Kids are like, this is broken.
We I think actually at our site they recorded their own little add-on for it because I think he was like, man, I'm fucking sick of like having to
And that's
teach
the
these
thing
kids
is
how
like
to do it.
you don't have to use it. It's just like laser force supplied, but like I definitely encourage if you have like your own laser force site, like make your own, like be creative, be fun with it.
Like they've done such a good job and like it looks great that I'm not surprised that people use that as their default. But I think the one drawback from using it is people are like, where's the Pharaoh? Why don't we have a Pharaoh? That's really cool.
Right.
No tall operators. You just get a Pharaoh then.
Yeah, exactly right.
Right.
Just make it a standard thing for arenas.
So
Change up your entire theming.
yeah.
No, just pick the Pharaoh in whatever theming you have. I don't care if it's Old West or spaceship or whatever. You just get a Pharaoh. You're fine.
They've actually just done a bunch of artwork in our site and it looks really cool. They basically spent lockdown redoing the artwork throughout the whole entire arena, so the whole thing looks vibrant and like it's such a good use of time. I thought.
I hope every operator did that. I hope every operator poured some love into their arena while they were on lockdown.
I mean, it's
That's
such
the best thing you can do.
Yeah, it's a good use of time. Like if you're gonna be closed, no one's gonna be in there. You might as well do something productive with it.
If you had any renos to do them now.
Add some stairs. That goes down well in any Duck and Laser Force arena. It's a big old set of stairs. Mean. So do you, have you, aside from that tournament, have you played any other tournaments?
I don't think so. I don't think I've traveled anywhere at our tournament.
Have you traveled to any other sites? Like, do they send you to other sites or vote no to stairs? You ain't wrong, Al.
I'm trying to think if I've ever been to sites. I haven't been to the East Coast. Have I been anywhere in the West Coast? I think.
Did you go to Utah?
I haven't been to Utah, even though I drove right through St. Cloud. Thunder messaged me too. He's like, dude, what do you drove right through Thunder?
Yeah,
You
I
should've come
waved
see
at
us."
you. Why did you just ignore me?
Yeah. You know, funny thing is like part of my role at Laser Force. I mean, I do a lot of crazy stuff all the time that's kind of like outside of graphics, but
Mm.
when Laser Force also offers a service where they can design like 3D model arenas for people. So like people who are like, hey, I want to buy Laser Force and like I have this space, like this warehouse. You know, what would I do with my arena? And so like they come to me with like the blueprints, and I would basically lay out in the 3D model space like their like what the arena should look like.
Mm.
It is no means like what it's not something like they should build, or it's not like true architect blueprints. It's just kind of like a good visual and like guide to like what they can do and like what they have space for. And so I've done a lot of those like conceptual arena design, which is cool because it's not like they're getting just some random layout. It's like someone who's actually played, you know, in the tournament scene. So like he understands like, you know, sight lines and like you can't have like long hallways where people get up to like 30 miles an hour sprinting, you know, things like that where you have to like really be, you know, aware of like what you're doing as far as the arena. And one actually, I think, I don't know how many because I sent so many out, but I know for a fact there is one arena in the US designed by hand and they actually built. And that was really cool because they wanted like a city style arena. Like it wanted to be like feel like super urban. And it's two levels and there's like ramps on each side, but it looks like buildings that you're running.
That's cool.
And each building has their own theme. Like one's like a bank and one is like a library, I think. That one is in Iowa. So I have yet to see it in person. I need to make a trip up there to go see it.
Well, like
But
Iowa is...
they like
Well, it's relatively close to Colorado, so I'm sure he can just.
relatively. I mean,
Yeah.
it's closer than Tim's site, but
Iowa's one of those hub cities, right? Like lots of people go there.
Only if you're running for president.
Um,
And I have to step away for a second because yeah, one of our songs is being played on the radio tonight, and they're trying to get in contact with me for some additional information
classic.
about it. So
First show, and he has to ditch us for his band.
yeah, no,
drums are calling.
well, they
Well,
are,
now's your
so.
chance to try your transition back to a different number of guests. Steve.
Yeah. Once you leave, it's going to be
I'll be-
interesting because Marco will change to Than.
Man, you got more attractive. What happened?
I'll be back. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right.
You have
Alright.
a lot more hair.
I didn't
Dude, I
even
wish
leave
I
the...
could step away. I wish I could be like, I got a record deal, so I'm like, sorry, there's like a line of people who want my like, I gotta peace out real quick.
Hang on. Hang on. Bear with me 2 seconds because I'm going to try this. Wait.
Here we go.
Yeah, watch this.
All right, what are you gonna do to me?
All right.
Boom, we're back. Except Marco's named incorrectly. But don't worry about that. Don't look at the screen.
Ooh.
So,
I think
Than,
old man
how's...
still fits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Watch out, incoming...
This is uncanny.
incoming drumstick. So that's pretty cool. Like, you should go there and, like, sign the arena. Just go in there and tag your name on the wall, and they'll be like, "What are you doing?" We're like, "I made this. This is me."
This is all me. I take all the credit.
Only you have to sign it by like smearing a piece of toast with jelly like across the wall.
Actually,
I'm gonna be so mad if there's like any toast jelly visuals there.
is there any way? I'd imagine it's a licensing issue because I assume that Laser Force owns the avatars now. But what I would really like to see is a 3D vinyl toy made of the toast, because I would 100% buy that and put it on my shelf. That would be really, really cool.
Damn.
You know, just to rub it in even more.
So, funny part about the avatars. I haven't. I don't think I've any. I haven't added any this year. Maybe like two in the last update. It's like they run an update at least once a year, but I think sometimes they'll push 2 or 3 a year for the software. And I'll sneak in like a we'll sneak in avatars just because I've had time to illustrate some more. But this year, there's an avatar that showed up on the avatar screen where you can pick that I didn't create, and I got a text message one morning with like the avatar screenshotted, and it was from the office Scotland, and they were like, "What the hell is this?" They sent it to me, and it was like I didn't make it, and it was like a wombat, and they were like, "This is the shittiest avatar we've ever seen in our life." I was like,
Why do you look at a hate on the wombats?
I was like waking up to it, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And so like I go and look at it, and I was like, "Dude, I don't know how, I don't know what that is." And so like I messaged the developers in Australia, and I was like, "Is there like a new avatar that came out?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, like wombat in I think it's Laser Blaze in Australia."
Yeah.
In Perth,
Apparently he wanted his own avatar, and so they put in a wombat. They put in a wombat into the system, but it looks so like different from. Let me see if I can pull it up. It looks so different from like what everything I've done. Like it's kind of comical.
Like it doesn't feel right. This wombat needs jelly.
Yeah.
Spread some jelly on that wombat. It'll make it much better. Isn't that just powdered toast
like
man?
a punk hair cut or something.
Powdered toast man was terrifying, Al.
If you go to play and you see a wombat, that is not from my hand. Feel free to use it.
Yeah, very much distance yourself from that one.
I can't remember. Have they made any of the avatars like you have to unlock them by getting certain achievements, or are they all just still general use right now?
We talked about it. There's a lot we wanted to do with like stuff, but I don't think that's any like thing that's gonna be developed anytime soon. But maybe we'll see.
Maybe. There, we got our teaser.
Maybe.
This is the hard hitting journalism that the Resupply brings here.
So how much do we have to pay you to get our likenesses put into avatar form?
That's like something that like people obviously love when players always ask. They're like, "Can we get our own avatar? Can we get a custom avatar?"
Yeah.
And that's like
Speak for yourself, neckbeard. I don't need to see myself up there.
Oh, that's the perfect name for it.
I don't know. I feel like the green hair like could be an avatar pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have the confidence to like do the green hair, but more power to DK.
Just rock it. I mean, it's hard to undo.
I feel like custom avatars for like people is like such a slippery slope. Like you do it once for somebody, and you're gonna be stuck doing that. I'm gonna be stuck doing that for the rest of my life for everybody. You know?
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like once we do it once, which kind of we have with Wombat, you know, it's like everyone's gonna be putting their requests, and I'm gonna be stuck doing avatars.
I mean, he's one of the major site operators, so you can kind of make
sure. That like he definitely gets like grandfathered into like that. You know,
like I'm like he could probably have one. You know, maybe Tim could get one, but other than that, nah. The rest of you are just plebs.
I think Tim. So the wizard one, there's a wizard. I think he messaged me one day. He's like, "Thanks for making me my avatar." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Oh, the wizard. I know you made that one."
You're like,
that's
yeah. I'm
like, yes.
Your bill is in the mail. Right. I'll email your invoice like later on today. I would hella be interested in having my own avatar because I'm that vain. I'm that vain that I need a picture of myself on my Laser Force suit.
It doesn't.
I'm shocked, but not shocked to hear that.
Oh, you're back. Hey, how was your phone call?
Yeah, what wasn't the thing that I thought it was going to be, which is just super irritating. So when people
that's terrifying. Oh my god!
What? Yeah, no, it's terrible. No, that's bad.
That's like some kind of like fucked up Pokemon.
Yeah, that's why I woke up that morning. I was like,
That's
"How did you
quarantine
wait?"
Pikachu
I
right
was like, I
there.
didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Ducky, what screen are you talking about? I'm unsure what screen you're talking about, man. Yeah, right on. Yeah. Please make me my own avatar. That'd be awesome. So apparently the screens on the suit aren't big enough for Ducky.
The thing is with the suit, the thing is like we can make them bigger, like the resolution better, but then you get like 5 less hours of playtime out of them, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is like operators could care less about the screen. It's the players who like them. But if
Yeah.
you tell them they only get like 6 hours of play use, then they're gonna be like, "Oh, screw this! Like, I don't want to buy this."
Yeah, that's not a good trade-off.
So, Night Owl mentioned microtransactions being a thing. I think I know there's a lot of like people that hate microtransactions, but like for this particular instance, if I can pay some money to have like custom shit on my Laser Force suit, like I'd be so keen for that. Or like it's a weird nerdy flex, like haha, I play Laser Force and I'm wealthy. Suck it.
I think that's really good to know, though. I feel like I don't know. I feel like that should be noted within the Laser Force HQ that like people are willing to pay money to have exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
Which means that operators can like monetize the laser tag even more.
They're like,
that's
you want
super
rapid fire? Cool, that's an extra $5 a game.
Ooh, I don't know about play to win. Play to win.
I would definitely pay like $100 during a Space Marines game just to cancel one of Rusty's nukes.
Just way too cheap. Way too cheap.
Just be his ammo.
Like, I like trophies too. I'm willing to bribe some people to get it done.
Well, like maybe charge him for nukes. You want a nuke? Cool, $2.50 a nuke.
Or I'll just slip Fredo a 20 so that way he can just end the game.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what happens. Truth has finally come out. So, are you guys open yet, or is Colorado still kind of in lockdown?
Yeah, Loveland opened. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Have they got any...
limited capacity?
Yeah.
I haven't been there since they opened, but from what I know, it's limited capacity. It's seems to be going good though. It seems to be like a lot of people are kind of, and people are like, it was kind of interesting to see like what would happen to like the entertainment market as far as like quarantine. Like, people really care about that type of stuff anymore. But the response has been really good, so it seems like they're still getting people through the doors, and people are still like really excited to play.
What day is their members night?
I don't know. It used to be Tuesday nights. I don't know if all those members killed off and died during quarantine, or if they're still around.
Ooh, too soon. Ooh,
too soon.
Yeah, I know that there are like some sites that are basically still shut over there, right? Like things are kind of it kind of varies from state to state.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of places are running at limited capacity because I mean, like California, a lot of stuff is open now, but we have just like a masking mandate, which I don't know if that would really work during laser tag, but I mean,
if you want, like,
I would play laser tag in a biohazard suit right now if I could just play some damn laser tag. I'll tell you that.
If you were like trying to replicate the high altitude of Colorado, you could wear a gas mask. You might pass out, but at least you won't get the Rona.
I'm gonna pass that anyway. So long since I played.
Like
one of the sports team's advantages is like not having any air.
Yeah.
So when players come from sea level to here, they're like,
yeah, like, oh my god, I'm dying.
I brought this up in multiple NBA columns.
So we get like one game better winning record because of it.
welcome to Mile High. All you need is a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Super true.
So, did you boys have anything else that you wanted to kind of bring up, or Marco, did you have any other like fun anecdotes that come to mind?
I'm trying to think what else I got going on as far as Laser Force goes.
That you can't talk about.
That I can't talk about. There's this one thing that's kind of funny. So long story short, I don't know if you guys know the situation in Germany with laser tag, but at least half or more of our laser force centers in Europe, which you guys have, if you guys haven't checked out yet, laser force Europe has like a huge like tournament scene. I don't think they play Space Marines as hard as we do, but they definitely get competitive, which is really cool to see. I know Prague, Mercuria in Prague, they do a really good job of tournaments and everything like that.
Yeah, and
So definitely check them out.
the Germans are like super into it, and there's
Yeah.
a couple of sites in the UK as well that are going super hard. So, I mean, it's not always Space Marines, but it is competitive play. And
Anything that builds the brand awareness for Laser Force, I'm all for.
Right. So Germany has like really strict rules just lately about like violence and gun violence, and I think it even extends to video games. And what Germany is that to be, I think, 16 or older to play Laser Tag.
Really?
Which really sucks for the operators. Yeah, it's bad. So like it really sucks for the operators and the laser because I think actually any Laser Tag operators. Because that really cuts down like all of your market for Laser Tag, obviously. So like you can't have birthday parties and stuff like that. We can. And so like there's a big court battle right now happening between, I don't know if I think it's just Laser Force, but like the European Laser Force team is like going to court with like the Germany. And they're kind of battling out like, what can we do to like make sure that our clients and customers are successful in like your region, like 16 like really kneecap.
That's brutal, man.
So I guess in late last year, the Germany council, I don't know who's overseeing this case, was like, well, if you could make a game that's like non-violent and like you don't shoot people, like we'd be more like interested in listening about how Laser Force can be played by all ages. So they came to me in like March and they were like, hey, we need a game, like we need to propose a game to like the country of Germany, this new like laser tag game where it doesn't involve any shooting, it doesn't involve like any type of like anybody pointing any phasers at anybody. And basically what the European Germany team came up with was laser tag fishing. I'm not kidding around. It's laser tag fishing, and you have to take the phaser and you have to fish at like targets, like at targets at the arena, and you can't shoot people. And it's so stupid. But I had to lay out this huge PDF document, like that, like covered the mechanics of the game and like how casting would work with the IR receivers, and the development team was even gonna pay any like attention to. They're just like, yeah, just like give them what they want. If they want to see PDF like outlining how the game works.
This is amazing.
Like overnight I had to like design graphics, like all the stupid mechanics of like, and I was just like so over it. I was like, how is this even gonna work? It doesn't make any sense. There's no player to player interaction. You're just running around the arena trying to catch fish of various sizes. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever done for Laser Force. And it was weird. It's funny because like you could tell in like our emails going back and you could tell everyone's like reaction to this was just like, just do it, dude. Just like, I know it sounds like, this is so stupid. Like, yeah.
That's so good.
I don't know whatever happened to it. I think they presented. They've been cold for the last 4 months, and I'm thinking the Germany culture.
How did that not take off? That's a winner right there.
My favorite sound effect from
so
all
if you guys see like
Tommaso Lafuzzi.
If you guys see a fishing tournament, Laser Force fishing tournament come up on the scene, or like a Facebook group pop up with it, let me know.
Yeah,
it puts the ass back in Bassmasters.
I mean, like the thing that comes to mind would be like kind of like a Iron Man thing, right? You have it's not a gun, it's a kind of,
Yeah. And there was like a year ago we talked about doing that. Or we talked about like getting rid of phaser. We could do some. I don't know what happened to that. Honestly, I think it came down to like we don't want to dump money into like developing a new type of hand thing.
Yeah.
We'll just focus on making good laser tag the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Germany. Can never catch a break.
Yeah, it really sucks that they have those really weird rules. But
I wonder what happened in Germany that made them so paranoid about violence. It's the damnedest thing.
It's weird. I'm not sure I can put A and B together
you all
on that.
better be
I
careful
don't know.
before US starts listening.
I'm worried about like El Diablo coming over and be like, bruh, what happened to my tag?
I think in the U.S. the bigger worry is that they'll demand we start putting real bullets in the laser tag guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Eh.
What would be better is if the shoot
You
suit,
can't
like,
call this a gun. It doesn't even kill things.
how do we make this electrocute somebody?
It kills spirits. That's what.
I mean, I've already been electrocuted by a laser tag vest enough times in my life.
Actually?
Having worked on them. Well, back when I used to have to work on the Gen 5s, yeah.
Actual lasers. We need stuff that'll, like plasma and shit. That's what we need.
People always ask that. Do lasers hurt your eyes, or like does it?
Do you say
Always have to
yes?
tell them no.
You should say yes.
No.
Oh wait.
When I was working at Jeff's site, I used to work the front desk and just like, check people in and like check them out. And sometimes when it was later at night, I used to like when people would come in and they'd be like, guys, we just ran out of lasers. So sorry. Like, we don't have lasers. We just ran out of lasers. We don't have laser tag for the night. The funniest part was like people were so understanding about it. People were like, "Oh, it's fine. Like we'll just do something else."
See, like, I was in Melbourne in 2003, and a very similar thing happened, right? Except it wasn't lasers. We were in a KFC and they ran out of chicken, and that was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
But that can actually happen.
Yeah,
that can
yeah.
actually happen.
But
That's an actual problem.
it was a laser force trip, so it's the same thing. It's definitely the same thing.
What do they offer you? Just offer you biscuits or something?
No, we don't get biscuits down the side of the world.
Kentucky Fried Biscuits? Or?
No, we don't get that.
Wait,
We get a bread roll is what we get.
You just got Kentucky Fried Chicken in your hand is all you got.
Yeah,
Your
biscuits.
KFC is so much worse than what we get to
Except,
enjoy.
our chicken isn't pumped full of crap for the most part.
Yeah, their chicken's actually pretty awesome down there.
So it's not any good.
Al said it's because Spoonie beat us to the KFC.
And this is the thing that you would never have gotten with the old format.
Yeah.
You would not have gotten DK to almost spit take live on camera.
Right away.
Oh,
all
that's
that
so
planning,
fantastic.
that was worth it.
That shouldn't be that funny, but it is.
I tell you what, if you ever come down this side of the world, like the chicken at KFC, fantastic. It's amazing.
Pretty bomb.
Yeah.
It's pretty bomb.
But yeah.
I don't think I'd ever go to like Auckland and be like, some KFC. I don't think I'd ever desire it.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, it's good. It's not worth traveling here for.
Well, you just got to get on the rusty 5 meals a day plan and you'll be fine.
Speaking of Auckland and you coming here, are you coming next year? You better be. You should absolutely come down.
I want to. I was actually planning on coming this year because the tournament and stuff. Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to join a team or anything. I just wanted to show up and be like, "Oh, cool, laser tag."
But like, hey, I made. See that toast you've got on your suit? I made that. That's my toast.
Take that toast off.
Yeah.
I see
But
it.
2020 didn't go the way anybody else wanted to go. So
Yeah. Well,
maybe next year.
well, so yeah, next year will be hopefully leading people into the country. So yeah, if we end up doing it, and if you want a spot on the team, I'm sure we can find you one. But it's definitely a country worth coming down to see. I think we talked about it. Like,
I play Mean Scout. I love Scout. I feel like when I started
I'd love
playing,
to hear.
I was like, I always played ammo,
yeah,
and I loved ammo. And when I started, like, when I first got into Space Marines, ammo was where I was at.
Yeah.
And I always thought Sex Scout was like such a like, you know, string beat. You got Scout, like. But as I started playing more, I love Scout. Like,
Yeah.
Scout, if your team doesn't rely on your scouts, then you need to rethink your team. But Scout is like one of the best positions to play.
It's so much fun because like there's not that much. There's not the same pressure that you get playing as a commander, but you
Right.
could be like almost as devastating if you go on a decent rapid fire run. Or if,
Well, I mean, I think the whole point of Scout is just to annoy like
yeah,
the heavy hitters of the other team. Like, just be a nuisance to them.
yeah. If
And
you could
can
take
do
the
that
focus
well,
away, yeah.
then
Or-
it's great.
Or for some like somehow hoodlum out of Oakley, that dude just as a scout, he finds the medic every game, and like almost every tournament I've been to, he's either one medic killer or he's in the top 3, usually top 2 for medic killer, and he plays for the most part scout. It's crazy.
Just get a teleporter, bro.
Yeah, he's got a teleporter. Yeah.
It's non-standard laser force equipment, and he should fucking stop using it. That asshole.
Also, just be willing to
I'm
eat
reporting
like
it.
100 missiles in a tournament, and you can definitely get medic killer. It's not that hard.
That is true. Like he so in the last Brisbane tournament, he was like one game away from taking the top spot, and it was against us. Al says he's only been beaten one time. Yeah, that sounds about right, man. Like every tournament I've seen him play, he wins it. He like, you know, plays every 2 to 5 years.
It was nice of you to throw the game and give it to him, Than. Good job.
Honestly, like we weren't trying to. I was legitimately trying to keep him out.
I know. I was there.
Like I got like I had a like good game score wise, but he got like 13 medic hits or something ridiculous. It really pissed me off. Like I love you, bro,
Yeah.
but fuck
It
you.
was really dumb.
I'll let you in on a secret. Our plan going into that game was just to make sure that he got meta killer. There was no other plan. Just like, yeah, make sure that you just shoot Steve in the back so that way I can get in.
Yeah,
I
like
said, no problem.
and we, you know, I thought that I had a pretty decent game, and just he like made us his bitch. It was terrible.
Yes, he did.
Stupid bastard. Love you, bro.
What an asshole.
Yeah, but like it's I love the game. I love Space Marine so much. Clearly, because we have a podcast that talks about it. It is really nice, and I hate to do this to you boys, but it's really nice to be able to play again.
Yeah, I bet it is.
It's extremely painful to play again. Like the last 3 Laser Forces, the last 3 members nights, I've been in a horrendous amount of pain for at least 4 days after, just starting to feel better again by the time the next week rolls around. So, but it is really nice to get back into it. We've been going about an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. And
What in the world?
I don't know about you guys, but I thoroughly enjoy just kind of yarning. And if we have more stuff to talk about, I'm more than happy to keep going, because, you know, we can just hang out here all day.
Always stuff.
Some of you can hang out here all day.
Oh yeah, other people gotta.
Yeah, other people have a phone interview to do for a local
record
radio
deals to go sign, or
Yeah, fucking like
the
groupies
tour
to go
buses
hang out
pulling up
with.
girls. Or...
Yeah. Which fat cat are you schmoozing up to today, Than?
So we just had one of our songs called "What Could Go Wrong" played on a country station. Because, well, okay, so I watch Twitter on a pretty regular basis for like radio stations that are asking for submissions for local music, because you know, that's just one of those things you do. And I saw this one come up and was like, oh, 95.9 The Ranch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a country station, but whatever.
Ranch.
You're asking for local music subs. We've got some stuff that can kind of fake country-ish, whatever. So I just threw it out there, not really thinking anything would come of it, because a lot of the times you do these type of submissions and you just don't either hear back, or no, you just don't hear back.
They're from like hip hop stations, right? They're like, oh, we got a song that could like pass as hip hop. We might as well just send a track in.
Yeah, I know that we definitely don't have, but in this case, like, sure, whatever. And yeah, they emailed today saying, oh yeah, we're going to be playing your guys' song at 9:10 Central, and then they'll be voting, and at 9:45 we'll announce the winner. And it's like, cool, okay, so we'll see. I mean, again, this station it's a total Texas red dirt country station. We are gonna get fucking wrecked on this, because because our song played second. The song that played first, oh yeah, like definitely.
Where were you?
Texas red dirt twang, and I mean, don't get me wrong, very well done. But it's like, yeah, we about to get wrecked unless a bunch of people have texted, which I've actually been getting some messages from people saying, oh, I sent text messages and I voted. It's like, okay, so I think at this point I know for sure we've got like 10 or 15 votes. So
perfect.
Whatever.
Abuse your power as a moderator on the Laser Force page.
Spam those Laser Force pages.
I mean,
that's what I did the last couple of weeks. Yeah. All right. Sober hoodie is a medic's worst nightmare, apparently.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Even drunk hoodie, still scary.
Still terrifying.
Yeah, but I mean, because either one of them is going to grope you. So
yeah, but you get used to that.
He might have drunk dialed me on Facebook this morning, so things like this just happen.
Periodically, I get it.
I don't go to tournaments anymore.
Why? Because of the homoeroticism. Hey, man love is bonding. All right, it's good for the soul.
That's right.
Periodically, I wake up in the morning and because I keep my phone on flight mode, and I'll see like a bunch of messages and then a missed call from Hoodie from like 4 a.m.
He's the only person who has ever intentionally called me on Messenger. Everybody else, it's always missed out. Like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Like, you're the only person who has ever made a Facebook call legit, bro.
All right. So, coming up, because I think maybe we'll leave the conversation there if you guys are happy to do that.
Yeah, I think this went far better than I expected.
Yeah,
so.
And like Marco, we appreciate
good job, guys.
You coming on, and again, massive thank you for like all the work that you put in.
Thanks for having me. Like I said, I'm not involved in the tournament at all, and even though you try to pay me off for not coming on today, thank you for having me.
You were like, bro, like, do I have to come here? Really? I've been dealing with you for like 2 weeks and it's been terrible. Like, stop messaging me. I'll have it done when it's done.
I blocked you 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Stop making dupe accounts.
So I see I've turned my phone back on and I've got a bunch of messages and a missed phone call. But yeah, thanks, bro. Like, we really appreciate all the hard work that you did in like a relatively short period of time too. So, yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah,
again,
it was a lot of fun.
If you need if you need a graphic artist, hit Marco up, because he's nice and cheap. No, he's very talented. So
he does really, really good work. I'm gonna plug him a bit also, because he's done the album artwork for both of my band's albums.
He did.
So and
there it is. We knew the plug was coming sooner or later.
Well, yes, the plug is coming sooner because it's really good work. So I mean, Steve-O and I definitely cannot speak highly enough about the work that Marco does. So yeah, so if you need graphic design stuff for pretty much anything,
just
talk to Marco.
Use the promo code the Resupply for 30% off.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Let's put that out there. That's a lie.
We'll use promo codes. Hashtag fan. Hashtag DK. Throw all the promo codes at me.
Yeah, do it.
I'll find a way.
just make some up. Why not?
Yeah, 30% off. Yeah, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. We'll catch up with you again soon. And
Yeah.
hopefully we see you. Well, if we don't talk to you before then, hopefully we see you at Nationals next year. That would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now that we got the Discord going, if there's anything cool happening in the Laser Force side of things that hasn't been announced yet, I'm not going to leak it, but I will hint at what's going on, and I'll hint at what changes are being made.
We should bring you back on for like an exclusive.
Yeah, like one thing I can say is like when we produce the Gen 8 gear, there's a lot of like hardware we put in that's not being used right now.
Ooh.
We have got to just develop for it. There's some really cool features that are coming out soon that I'm like, I really want to talk about, but because it could change Space Marines, it could change all the games.
Ooh. For lack of you getting, I mean,
my nipples just got hard.
yeah, at the risk of getting you fired, you should definitely tell us what it is.
You should definitely not tell us what it is in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know.
Oh, look, I'll do anything for the subs.
Hitting me up on Skype right now, like, dude, you
Shut the fuck up! Yeah, but yeah.
But we got some really cool features that are just, it's already in the hardware, it's already in the suits. You don't have to buy any new suits. It's a software update, and then you'll have some really cool gameplay afterwards. But like I said, if those things get closer to being developed, I will hit you guys up on Discord about it.
Yeah, man, that'd be really awesome. Laser Force Brisbane are daring you to do it. That means you got the all clear, bro.
Dude.
Yeah, you said it in chat. You said it good. All right, bro.
I'm gonna have like a whiteboard. I'm gonna like write it behind.
Yeah, no, I didn't say shit.
Well, thank you for watching our first and only broadcast of Resupply before we got shut down.
Yeah, like everyone on here, mad litigation to follow.
Oh yeah.
All right, bro. We'll talk to you soon. We're gonna switch to back to a three person thingy, and hopefully I don't fuck this up. Hang on, here we go. Thanks,
Here we go.
Thanks again, bro. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Later, Marco.
Boom, 3 people. Now, if Marco happens to leave the call, I'm gonna mute him again. But if he leaves the call, it'll fuck up our thing. So just hang out in the background, bro. I think that was a pretty successful first broadcast. What do you gentlemen think? How are you feeling about how this format of the show is?
It has exceeded my wildest expectations, and I'm keen to see how we're going to disappoint in the future.
Yeah. Well, like...
Because we are definitely going to disappoint.
So I think as a little extracurricular activity, maybe we create the Resupply drinking game where if I fuck up a transition, you take a shot of a certain...
No, alcohol poisoning. That's alcohol poisoning just waiting to happen. We don't want to kill off our audience. What the fuck are you doing?
There might have to be a particular brand of whiskey that gets promoted on this show.
Like everybody in the Laser Force community doesn't know that I'm a massive lightweight already.
Yeah, one and done, bro. One and done. No drinking games. You start before midday. Not New Zealand, buddy. All right. Well, look, we'll leave it there for this week. I really enjoyed hanging out with everyone. This is dope. Seeing everyone kind of participating in the chat is awful nice. And whilst I do my best to kind of read everything as it happens, don't be offended if we're mid riffing and I miss talking about some funny shit that you say that causes DK to have a spit take, which I might compile into some like best of the Resupply. Later, Resupply After Dark, we're gonna get our man Night Owl with his sensual voice to come on and do Resupply After Dark, I think. Yeah, if you want to hear that, you got to tune in tomorrow for the D&D times, because Mr. Night Owl will be on that stream. Yes, along with some other guests. Smalley McSmall, what time is it there at the moment? Just out of curiosity. It's got to be
fucking late.
It's got to be almost
like 1 or 2 in the morning, I want to say.
I think it was
Later,
like
it's almost 4, I think.
In the UK? I thought they were like 3
Well-
hours behind East Coast.
She said it was like 2 a.m. when we started. So yeah, it's
3:37. God
Yeah.
damn. Well, we appreciate you hanging out for so long. I know that like this is maybe not worth doing on the regular, but certainly for the first show.
Would not miss that premiere.
So the sun is coming up. Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna have
Fuck
to
that.
we're gonna have to send you some sort of merch when we eventually, start bugging you guys for your money. But coming up tomorrow, if you want to join us, I think it's the same time, DK, is that right? Or an hour?
Yeah,
earlier?
we're gonna start at the same time, which is 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. What is that? 1 p.m. New Zealand and 11 a.m. Australia East time.
Yeah, because what else would we do with our weekends that's not hanging out talking about nerdy shit? Now, if I can get through the remainder and do the ending of this podcast without fucking it up, that would be awesome. But
Here we go.
for this week, I have been Guy Next Door.
I've been DK.
And I've been Than.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you on the Resupply next week.